All right, today we're going to talk about something fascinating, a really dangerous dance, actually. The one between political goals and a stable economy. Let's get into what happens when these two massive forces start pulling in opposite directions. So let's just jump right in with the big question, right? Picture this. An election is coming up. The government, they're trying to make everybody happy, get those votes. But then you have the central bank, and their job is totally different. They're the ones who have to keep the whole economy from just, spinning out of control. So what happens when these two start pulling in opposite directions?
Okay, so to really get this, we need to set the scene. Let's imagine an economy that's actually doing great. I mean, it's perfectly balanced. Everybody who wants a job has one. Things are good. So when we say full employment, what does that really mean? It means the economy is running at full throttle. There's no extra capacity, no slack in the system. And just to keep things simple for our story here, we're going to assume it's a closed economy. That just means no imports, no exports. We're just focusing on what's happening at home between our two big players.
And speaking of those players, let's meet the main characters in our economic drama. On one side, you've got the government. Their goal is super straightforward: win the next election. And their tools? Well, they control fiscal policy. That's just taxes and spending. Then on the other side, you've got the central bank. Their mission is totally different: keep things stable, stop prices from going haywire, and their main weapon is controlling the money supply. You can already see where the conflict is coming from, right? So the election is right around the corner. The government knows it's time to make a move. They want the voters feeling good, feeling flush with cash, so they decide to slam their foot on the economic gas pedal.
And here's the playbook. It's a classic, really. Step 1, cut taxes. That puts more money directly into your pocket. Step 2, ramp up government spending on things everybody likes: welfare, healthcare, you name it. It's the ultimate feel-good strategy, and it's all about winning those votes. So what's the immediate result of all this? Well, people have more cash, and the government is spending like crazy. Put those two together, and you get a huge spike in demand for everything. In economics, they call this a fiscal expansion.
Now, for those of you who know the ISLM model, and if you don't, no worries, it's just a way to visualize this stuff. This is where the first big plot twist happens. The IS curve, which basically represents all the buying and selling of goods, it shifts hard to the right. This means that suddenly the economy is trying to produce more at every interest rate. But, and this is a huge but, remember where we started?
Yeah, this is where the trouble begins. Think about it. The economy was already running at 100%. It's like an engine that's already redlining. What happens when you try to jam the accelerator down even further? You don't go faster, you just risk blowing the whole thing up. Pumping all this demand into an economy at full capacity, it doesn't make more stuff, it just makes problems.
And here's the bottom line. Suddenly, everybody has more money and wants to buy more things. But the factories, the workers, they can't magically produce more. They're already maxed out. So what happens when you have a ton of demand chasing a fixed amount of supply? Yep, sellers start jacking up the prices.
And there's the big scary word, inflation. Too much money chasing too few goods. This is the moment a giant alarm bell goes off. And you can bet our other key player, the central bank, hears it loud and clear.
Okay, so the central bank sees these flashing red lights of inflation all over their dashboard. They know they can't just sit there. They have to intervene. It's time to slam on the brakes. And I mean slam on them hard. Because see, this is literally their job. The government may be thinking about the next few months, about winning an election, but the central bank, they're supposed to be thinking about the next few years, about the long-term health of the economy, and they know that runaway inflation is like a cancer for an economy. So what's their move? They use a tool called contractionary monetary policy. Sounds complicated, but the idea is simple. They start selling government bonds on the open market. And when banks and people buy these bonds, the money they use gets sucked out of the system. It's like a giant economic vacuum cleaner, reducing the total amount of money floating around.
And this has a 1-2 punch effect. First, with less money available, it becomes more expensive to borrow. That's right, interest rates go up. And in our ISLM model, this causes the LM curve, the one for the money market, to shift to the left. So you see what happened? The government pushed one way, and the central bank pushed right back. The great economic tug-of-war is now complete.
So after all this drama, all this pushing and pulling, where do we land? Well, the economy finds a new balance point, a new equilibrium. But here's the thing. We might be back where we started in some ways, but getting there came with a pretty hefty price tag.
Just look at this table. It really lays it all out. Check out that top line. output, or GDP. It ends up right back at full employment, exactly where we started. So no gain there. But now, look at the rest. The price level? Higher. That's that inflation we were talking about. The interest rate? Way higher, which makes borrowing money more expensive for everyone, from families to businesses. And because of that, investment in the future? That's lower. Oh, and that government deficit? Yeah, that's a whole lot bigger.
So let's be crystal clear about the takeaway here. All of that political and economic maneuvering, all that drama, and for what? Zero increase in what the country actually produced. We ended up with the exact same size economic pie, but now it comes with a side of higher prices, more expensive debt, and less investment in our future. And this isn't a problem that just vanishes after Election Day. Oh no. The government's pre-election party created a bigger deficit which piles onto the national debt. And what does a bigger debt at a higher interest rate mean? It means more and more of your tax dollars are going to go to just paying interest year after year. That's money that can't be spent on schools, on roads, on infrastructure. You get the idea.
And that really brings us to the final crucial question, doesn't it? When economic policy is all about short-term political wins, it almost always leads to long-term economic pain. So after the dust settles, who actually pays the price for this dangerous dance? Who gets stuck with the bill for the higher prices, the bigger debt, and the dimmer future? It's something we all need to think about. Thanks for joining.